Hi everyone, I'm Asha, an Akashic Records reader, blogger, and podcaster. In this series, we will demystify the Akashic Records by bringing to you bite-sized contents on frequently asked questions relating to the Akashic Records. We will also explore topics relating to spirituality, as well as practical application, learnings, and reflections in the Akashic Records. My Akashic Masters are very excited to join us in this journey. We send much love, light, and blessings to all. Welcome to episode 15 of Case Study 6 of an Akashic Light Reading and Healing session. Today, we will be looking into the case study of another client who had a session with me. So let's call her Elvina. Elvina asked several questions. Her first question was, what is her soul's purpose, if any? For that, I received from her Akashic Masters first that yes, every soul has a purpose. And in her case, I was shown an image of a young sapling and a big tree growing in the beautiful green fields with blue skies in the background. The message received was her soul's purpose is specifically growing in the face of adversity. Currently, she is the young sapling who will one day grow into the big tree behind her by growing and working through life experiences. This is a good reminder to us that adversity can be our friend, not a foe, if we know how to utilize these adversities. What are the lessons to learn and grow from these adversities? On Elvina's second query, she asked what kind of career suits her. So Elvina shared with me that she is working as a secretary for a couple of years and she's thinking of a career change, but she has no idea what to do. So to start off, we examine the pros and cons of her current job. The pros of her being the secretary are fixed salary and stable job. The cons are it can be monotonous and boring. The bottom comes in terms of no excitement in terms of the future or new opportunities. While all is well and good for her to stay at the current job, it will not allow her to walk towards her soul's purpose if she continues to stay in her comfort zone. On her future career, I was shown an image of a smiling sun in the blue skies. The message received was for her to be hopeful of the future, be brave and explore new opportunities. So Elvina then asked me what kind of career suits her. For that, I received from her masters. It has to do with probably nature, plants, and animals. Elvina was surprised as she hasn't involved herself in any of these fields yet. On why these things are suitable for her, I received that Elvina has a deep sense of curiosity and childlike excitement within. She will therefore be able to show tender love to vulnerable beings around. Her masters asked her to look back and deeply into what made her want to pursue psychology in the first place. So Elvina earlier shared with me that she had a psychology degree. She shared that she did it as a friend who passed away said he really wanted to do this course. So when she heard that, back then, she felt that she was open-minded to try to accomplish something that her friend was unable to do while he was alive. When I check in with her masters, I received that Elvina has a deep sense of curiosity about human nature or beings in general. Specifically, it is human interactions which excites her. For example, what does the person truly think? Any hidden motives, their likes and dislikes. Elvina shared that she will think about all these points. I also received a message from her masters for her to be open to try. Her masters emphasize that they are merely giving her suggestions to consider and there's no right or wrong decision. Another suggestion came in from her masters for Elvina to consider volunteering first in an ad hoc basis in social causes involving humans, nature, and animals. Just try and see how she feels and which group does she feel more drawn to serve. On Elvina's third query, she asked whether her soul can be developed further. For that, I asked Elvina to elaborate why she wanted to know if her soul can be developed further. So the more specific the question is, the more specific the answers that we can receive from her masters as catered to the needs. Elvina shared that in her current job as a secretary at an institution, she is frequently faced with toxic colleagues who are unhelpful and sometimes demanding clients. Elvina worries if she is slowly becoming like them. She feels that she is losing her passion and patience. So what should she do about it? For that, I received from her masters that Elvina needs to have space for herself to nurture herself. To ensure that you are in the best position to care for others, you must first take care of yourself, and there's nothing wrong with that. Elvina could consider taking up exercise and mindful activities like hobbies that she could put her mind into. Some mindful activities does not include mindfully using the phone, for clarification. Also, I received that Elvina's energy is being depleted by interacting with others. Deep down, she is a perfectionist and imposes high standards and expectations on herself, that she should do this, she should do that. Hence, her energy is further depleted by her willingness to do so. On Elvina's comment that thankfully she has a colleague to gossip with to allow her to offload all these grievances to her colleague, I received from her masters that deep down, the reason why she feels this need to gossip is because she feels unfairness, resentment, and suppressed energies within. This is unhealthy in the long run. So it is something that Elvina could perhaps be more mindful towards and work on. Another suggestion from her masters is for Elvina to be mindful of her thoughts, words, and actions. Elvina can consider pasting a note near where she wakes up every morning to remind herself to be mindful every day. Before she gossips, it can help put a pause in her mental continuum and allow her to choose. It is important for Elvina to spend time with herself through all those mindful activities shared. Lastly, on whether there are any final messages to let Elvina know, it was received for her not to fear being helpful to others, and you are strong and courageous as a being. Next, we went on to the healing segment. For the healing component, Elvina wanted to focus the healing on two things. The first is being courageous to take the first step, and this is with regard to the career change. And the second is to release any associated fears. We ran Akashic light clearings and activations, which are energetic commands that assist the body to heal on a physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual levels as needed and aligned to one's highest good. So the commands will usually take place and run during the session, but it will continue to run for the next 3 to 7 days. For the releasing of fears, we ran releasing of fears generally across past lives and present life as ready for Elvina to be released. And specifically, we also ran clearings and activations to release this fear of change, which is what is preventing her from moving forward in terms of taking a decisive step to switch career, especially when she feels that this current career may not be suitable for her in the long term. We also ran release generally to release whatever barriers that she has imposed on herself whether knowingly or unknowingly. As for the focus on being courageous to take the first step, we ran clearings and activations to enhance her trust towards herself, increase the self-esteem and confidence, balancing the left and right hemispheres of her brain, removing the doubt and confusion and enhancing the clarity, as well as bridging the duality between the heart and mind. Because sometimes when the heart thinks in one direction and the mind thinks in another direction, it can pull us off tangent. So bridging all these dualities that she may have in order for her to make a conscious and thorough choice for herself in terms of what she wants for her career in the future. Also, we ran clearings and activations to enhance her inner worthiness and self-empowerment, to feel that she has the courage and clarity to make the right decision for herself. And lastly, to remind her of her inner divinity, that ultimately she's the soul, she's the light. There's nothing to fear from her present experiences on earth. She is part of a greater scheme of things. Thank you for tuning in to this podcast. If you would like to read about my dialogues and reflections with the Akashic Masters, you can visit my free blog at asha-akashicrecords.com. Till next time, take care.